Hello everyone, my name is Arwin, and today I am doing just a quick tutorial on how I use the Procreate fill tool to color even the sketchiest of line art. Because people say on the internet, like, if you want to use the fill bucket tool, then you have to make sure your line art is like super clean and crisp. This is obviously not true in programs where you can reference multiple layers and expand the selection of the fill bucket tool by a few pixels to cover the ant trails, but you might think that this does apply to Procreate since it doesn't have those features. This is not true. I have found the ways. If you've seen my webcomic, you know how sketchy the line art is there. With a webcomic, I want to be able to work quickly, and if I had to like color everything by hand or go really slow with my line art, I'd lose my marbles. I use Procreate for my webcomic, and I use all the methods I'm about to show you to color my webcomic. This line art I have here would normally be an absolute nightmare to fill with the fill bucket in Procreate, and better to color by hand. The brush I've used is like semi-transparent. I have random hatchy bits like on the cheeks and stuff. I like go over lines twice with here and or like twice or three times that leave these little gaps. There's gaps in the line art where the color would bleed out into other shapes. You might look at this and be like, there's no way you could do that with a fill bucket, you should just color it by hand. You're wrong. It'll be fine, and I'll prove it. So, first thing I'm gonna do is duplicate my line art layer. Oh, right, yeah. That's how you duplicate the line art layer. So I'm gonna go to the bottom one, and that's what I'm gonna do stuff on. So if you have multiple line art layers, then you're gonna want to make duplicates of each one, move all of the duplicates to the bottom, and then merge them. So, yeah, I only have one line art layer, so I don't have to worry about that, but yeah, keep that in mind. The reason for this is Procreate only lets you reference one layer at a time. That can be different from the layer you have selected, but in this case, if I reference the line art layer and color on a lower layer, I'm going to have to like constantly switch between the layers and to like fill in the gaps that my colors are spilling out of, and it would just be so annoying because I'd have to like not only be switching between the layers, but switch between my color and switch between my brush, and it would just be really annoying. So, and it would be slow, and I don't want to be slow because remember, I make a webcomic. So we're gonna color on the bottom layer, which means that any messing, we can like fill in the gaps with a color on this layer, and then it won't show up because it's covered by the actual line art layer. One thing with this method is it's really annoying to change colors after the fact, so you want to be sure of the colors that you're gonna color with ahead of time. If you're sure of your color palette already, you can skip this step, but I've never drawn these characters in color before, so what I'm gonna do is quickly rough out the color palette. I'm gonna make a new layer that's under the line art layer, and I'm gonna take a round brush that is like crisp, no texture. I'm gonna make it really big, and I'm just gonna rough out a color palette. I don't have to worry about little details because I just want to make sure that everything's gonna be cohesive, and look good together, so I don't have to worry about like little bits like what color the flowers are gonna be or the door handle. I just want to make sure that it'll be cohesive. Alright, so I've got this rough guesstimate of what it's gonna look like without, like, worrying about edges and stuff. So I'm gonna take this layer, make it small, so I can color drop it. I'm gonna put it right here. So I'm gonna go back to this layer that is like the duplicate of the line art layer, but underneath. And I'm gonna use this same crisp round brush and make it smaller, about that size. So, I'm going to start with shapes that are like kind of in front of other shapes, because like if I color in this hair shape first, it's gonna make it easier to color in the house that's behind it later. You'll see what I mean with that. So I'm taking this hair color and I'm gonna fill in all these gaps where I'm pretty sure the fill bucket is gonna like have the color bleed out into other shapes. So I'm just roughly filling all those gaps, and now I can just drop it, and I'm gonna turn the tolerance up as much as I can without it bleeding into other shapes to try to get rid of the little ant trails as much as possible. And like things like this where it's like right in the middle of the shape and you can see that it missed a spot, you can just fix that really quickly, like stuff like this too. But don't worry about fixing like stuff like that or that, because we're gonna go in later and fix all of that. So I'm just gonna go through and do that for all the shapes. So I'm gonna go through and fill everything that I want to be one solid color. I'm going to leave 3 things blank: the bandana, the window, and the sky. This is because I want the bandana to have like a pattern on the fabric that isn't lined. The window I want to do an effect to make it look more like glass and show reflections and stuff, and the sky I want to do a bit of a gradient and some not lined clouds. This will be really annoying to do on the layer with all the other colors, and if we save these for later then we can use like clipping masks and it'll be great. Popping in here to say, if you realized you forgot to line a bit, then what you can do is go back to your line art, color, and brush, go to your go and make a new layer and fix that bit that you forgot to line, and then duplicate this, put one above your color layer and one above your line art, and then merge each to each, and then it's fixed. Alright, I've colored everything in except for the bandana, the window, and the sky, and we're gonna deal with those now. So, I'm gonna reference this color layer, I'm gonna go to a layer underneath it, and I'm gonna fill these in with base color. If you have like a bunch of things that you want to do effects to, then, and they're like all overlapping and it's difficult, then you might want to put them on separate layers, and you also might want to color them by hand, because like, see here, if there was a gap in that line art, then it would be annoying. Since that's overlapping, I'm actually gonna put the window on a different layer than the bandana. And since these are all on separate layers, I can add clipping masks to them, and I can do the effects that I want to do. And I can use whatever brush I want because I don't have to worry about it being textury. And I can add effects and it'll be fun. So I've done all the colors, but you can see that there's all these little white spots. So we're gonna do two things to fix that. We're going to kind of like spot clean the whole thing. We're gonna go in and fix these bits individually, and then we're gonna do like a sweep of color underneath everything to get rid of like these itty bitty little white dots that are everywhere. So yeah, what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna put a layer underneath all of the color layers, and I'm gonna color pick like a bit, like this bit is supposed to be this orange hair color, and I'm just, oh, that's my texture brush. And I'm just gonna color that in. And since we're on an underneath layer, I can be all messy, and it doesn't matter, and I can just fix everything, and it's so easy. Hooray! Oh. We want that to be that color, and then we want that to be that color. It's important that we do this kind of like spot correcting instead of just leaving it up to the next step where we do the fill, because this preserves the sketchiness. Like let's take this example here. Like this is some wonderful sketchy nonsense, and if we just like put a, oh, my computer's dead. If we just put like a flat dark color underneath all of that, then we lose all that sketchy nonsense, and we want to keep the sketchy nonsense, so we have to do this to preserve the sketchy nonsense. Alright. I have spot cleaned, now it's time to do the power wash. So I put a layer underneath every color layer, and you could do this by changing the background color. I'm gonna do it by just filling this layer. Let's make sure my color layer is not referenced. And we're gonna fill everything with, you can choose either the line art color, which in my case is black, or you can just choose like a dark color that kind of complements everything. I'll show you how both look and you can see which one you like better. So here's line art color. So you see how it kind of goes in and like it kind of makes some bits a little crunchy, like bits where there were those white pixels are now black, which makes the line art like a little bit crunchy, and I do like it. And then here's the other one where I do like a color that just looks nice with the colors but is dark. It looks a little softer. I like both. You can experiment in your own art and see which one you like better. I'm gonna keep it this green color because I like it. So I'm gonna finish this drawing, and I will get back to you after because I have finished doing the flat colors. So yeah, it is so dark. The sun has officially set. The sun is all the way down, so here I am next to a lamp without a tripod. So I finished the drawing, I did the shading, I did colors to give it pizzazz and fun and life and hooray. So, I hope this video was helpful. I hope you like my art. If you like my art, then you should subscribe to this channel, because there's a lot of my art on this channel. So, you should subscribe. You should like the video. Even if you didn't like the video, you should like it anyway, because I'm really cool. Yeah, that's it. I'm gonna put I'm gonna put the image on the screen so you can see the colors correctly. Yeah, that's it. Goodbye.